What's up, guys? We're back again with Living the Lines, a five-fold media production. Alan Wayne.
Michael McGregor.
Oh, yeah, man. What's up, dude?
Not much, man.
It's been a busy week, ain't it?
It has been pretty steady.
Yeah. We're shooting. This is the Sunday before February the 4th, when our podcast drops every Tuesday. You can check out our last couple episodes. We're still pushing the Dustin Spears episode and the Jack Fiddler. Y'all check out them.
Yep, go check them out.
It's been a good week, though, man. FIFO Media's been busy this week, starting on Thursday down at Dee's Lounge,
Yep.
Country Cocktail Lounge in Madison, Tennessee.
Good, nice little spot.
Yeah, we didn't really know what to expect when we were going down there. I was like, I've been down there one time before during the day, just had a couple beers and hung out for a minute. But it's we talked a little bit about it on last week's episode, but it's about 30 foot right behind Jenna's adult toy box.
Right, yeah.
Right off of Gallatin Road. It's like old school Nashville vibes.
Yeah.
And it's what, would have been around forever. And it's kind of like the Twilight Zone. If you just pull up in the parking lot or cruise down Gallatin Road, you might kind of look around a little bit. But when you walk in, it's a whole different environment inside than what you would expect.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I expected. It was my first time there.
Yeah.
So, really cool environment, though.
So tell them who you were working with down there.
Well, I was working with a girl named Sarah Johnson, who had her other two girls that was playing there as well, Sarah Jean Kelly and also Sarah Peacock, which you go check all three of those artists out there. Did a phenomenal job down there, doing their little show and stuff. But yeah, I mean, they're just pretty well-rounded songwriter,
Right. One of the girls,
singer-songwriters.
there was one girl opened up just acoustic, and she was playing some of her original stuff, but she also did a cover of Crazy Train
Yeah,
by Ozzy.
yeah, that was badass. I
Man.
got a video of that.
Oh, I wanted to get a video, but I was like, this is one of those things that you kind of need to just take in the moment.
Yeah.
So I just enjoyed it. Sometimes I see people with the videos, and I get it, but sometimes you got to just sit back, and just let an artist kind of
Mhm.
have your attention.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was one that I think I've kind of heard some people do that song similar to that way, but she had that one really stuck out to me. Cover songs can be hard, but that's when you can really pull something off
Yeah.
like that. I think it goes a long way.
It definitely does.
Pulling people's attention. If you have original music, that's good, but sometimes it takes letting them hear something familiar to kind of
Yep.
get them to pay attention. But the other girls, yeah, she played acoustic and opened up, and the other two girls had bands. The second girl, I think, maybe just had a guitar.
She just had a guy playing
Guy
Telecaster.
playing Telecaster,
Yep.
yeah.
He was really good though.
Yeah, and I think all their stuff was about original, and then Sarah, the last Sarah, it was actually her show.
Yeah,
Which one?
Sarah Johnson.
Which is the trifecta.
Yeah,
of Sarahs.
trifecta Sarah's.
Sarah Johnson. She said she'd only been in town about 6 months.
Yeah, she's brand new to Nashville, pretty much, and already it seems like she's making a good mark.
Yeah, and it was good for us too. I mean, you got a lot of push off of just being involved with her and being down there at Dee's.
Yeah, that was big. Dee's ended up sharing the post that she posted of the pictures and stuff from the photography that we did down there, and they just went out.
They got
25,000 people.
Yeah,
that's pretty big. Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. And a lot of those people are actually musicians,
right.
so it's right up the road, from what we're doing already.
Yeah, and you were kind of shooting. There were some other photographers there.
Yeah, there was more people there doing video and stuff, and
Right.
probably maybe a little photography. I think that was more towards video side of things that night.
Okay, you were kind of leaning more toward the photography side.
Yeah, I just kind of did a little mix and got a little mix of everything, but I was more photo heavy that night because I knew they had video covered, and I wasn't gonna be editing a lot of videos down and sending them over to the artists when they
were kind of talking to me about this, about how one of the things that you have on your side is you kind of knew what they wanted without them even telling you.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
look that they were going for. You knew how to make those photos resonate with them, and that's something that takes time to develop when you're doing some of that.
It does. Well, a lot of that also comes from the music side of it and knowing the music personality of it,
Right.
That's where a lot of that comes in. Your average photographer is not gonna be like, hey, I can tell by playing at Dee's place, there's a vibe at Dee's.
Yes.
And there's a vibe that if you're playing at Dee's, you probably carry on that vibe amongst yourself.
Yeah.
And which I looked at those pictures, and after I took them, I'm like, hey, I got to put a kind of a aged Western type feel on this, editing these colors of these pictures and stuff, and they absolutely loved them.
Yeah, and this
I
is
think it really fit the mood really well.
way bigger than like Instagram filters. Like this stuff's way
Oh
different.
yeah, this is hand editing.
Yeah.
This is hand editing
Some
and
people that
just
don't
dialing
really
it
know,
in.
they may think, well, oh, I've got 1,000 filters on my.
Yeah, you can use filters too. I mean, they got so many good filters out there nowadays too, and sometimes I might put I call it a preset when we're editing,
Right.
but I might put a preset on there and just tweak around that, kind of make it little adjustments and stuff to kind of make it to my likings and stuff where it still looks good.
Yeah.
That's yeah, that's about the best way to do it.
I think, kind of one of the things we've learned over the past week is just you kind of got to put yourself out there.
Definitely, we
And,
definitely done that.
and going to D's on a Thursday night when it's raining and gloomy and, you could do 1,000 other things. But getting that shout out on D's page and doing the networking that we've done too, like, you'll have to refresh my memory on who the other people that were doing some videography there. They have a
Risco podcast, yeah.
Give them a shout out.
Yeah, Risco podcast. Y'all go check them out. They
Yeah.
do phenomenal work as well, and they're just actually starting out too, just kind of like what we're doing here on Living the Lines and
Yep, they
the
got.
Fivefold Media thing. We're all in it together, and
Yeah, but it's good to meet those people and kind of see what they're doing.
Right.
Get an idea of what the expectations are for some of this stuff around this area.
yeah, I enjoy talking to other people doing the same stuff that we're doing because it's all about networking.
Right.
That's what Nashville is. It's just a network.
And that
It's just
you
a
put
network.
yourself out there, like we talked about. There's no direct returns sometimes, but it takes a minute. But getting those shout outs and just meeting other people, that you can get information from or swap ideas and stuff with is everything. But it's also, going out on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of dipped your toe into the hip hop world.
I did, yeah.
You shot your first rap video.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to.
I wouldn't really call it a full video, but yeah, it was. It was more just little content.
Hip hop artist.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to Franklin and worked with. Tell him his name.
Slimy Chucky
Okay.
or is it Slimy Chucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, Slimy Chucky. Real cool guy. Yeah, real cool guy and stuff.
Giving off a real hard Wiz Khalifa vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
But it, we didn't really know what to expect. We had even less to expect doing that than we did going to D's. But you just kind of took a chance and we rolled up on them and everything was awesome, man.
Straight up in the hood.
Yeah.
It really wasn't even hood.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was pretty chill. It was actually chill.
Yeah, it wasn't. But it was just such a different aspect to what we're used to. I mean, we spend so much time with the singer-songwriter Nashville country scene.
Yep.
And this is all stuff. That's the one thing about Nashville. It used to be the country music capital of the world, but now, I mean, it's everything.
You get everything
There's
here.
everything here.
You get whatever you want on your plate.
Yeah, and the guy really, the song, I wish I knew the name of the song. I'd give it a shout out, but it's been stuck in. I don't even know if it's out yet, but
I don't think it is.
The lyrics have been stuck in my head for
Catchy.
a day, so that's how you know Slimy Chucky's really onto something.
He is,
and he gave you a lot of shout out too, man. Like
he did. I appreciate that. I appreciate the shout out.
It's just getting out there, and we were already in the neighborhood, kind of doing some. Getting the idea of what we needed to do. Another job that you got for some media producing and stuff for a sports related kind of deal. So that's going to be interesting. You were already kind of right there and you're like, well, they wasn't really wanting to give what you were trying to get to go up there, but we were already close. And it's like, let's roll up on Slimy Chuck and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And he went immediately he was like, he had his crew with him and he was like, hit the speaker. Turn it on and hit the speaker.
Yeah, I was already rolling. I was like, hey, I'm ready to roll when you are, bro.
He was ready.
It was fun, though. We wasn't even there, 30 minutes?
No.
Just got a couple of little fast shots for him, took a few photos. Yeah, and we wasn't there in no time, but
it just, it shows
there's going to be some work in the future there.
When you're working with other artists. And you never know who you're going to meet or who's going to know who or the opportunity. Like we were talking about, like it would be cool to have the opportunity to come in and write some hooks with some of those guys for some of these country rap songs that are getting so big, Just as a songwriter and a musician in this town, you take any opportunity you can get.
That's true.
There's kind of a consensus between people that the cameraman can't die. in all the horror movies or anything, it's like the cameraman never dies, and
No.
that's kind of the thing with rap videos because they get a lot of guns pointed at them.
Yeah.
And you never hear about the cameraman dying. So, but that is one thing if you're doing hip hop, you got to kind of worry about. If
Yeah.
they jump out
Luckily,
of
we
the,
didn't have no guns the other day.
there's no gunplay at
So
the
no
Lincoln Park
gunplay.
basketball court.
Yeah, we was at
Thank
a
goodness.
basketball. Yeah.
But it's been fun, man. You just got to make sure that you can unload the guns though, because if the block's hot and
Oh
somebody
yeah,
rolls
somebody can pull up on set, bro. Like we gotta bust caps. We gotta roll, baby.
you got to
I'll be like, get my camera bag, Alan. Get my camera bag. Hey, shit's getting dangerous out there for videography and photography world these
That's what I'm
days.
saying. Like you're risking life and limb for these people for their
Yeah,
visual
just put it. I
pleasure.
put it all on the line. I may
When
not be able to come home and see my kids that afternoon. After a fucking
just so
video,
slimy Chucky can make
just
some
so he can
millions
get
and
his
get
next
his
video
video
out there.
where he
That's right.
needs.
That's what we're all about.
That's the kind of way.
We're the kind of company that'll die for you.
That's the kind of the way I
Yeah.
feel about my album, man. I finished up, and I
Yeah,
feel
let's
like
talk about that a little bit.
I've sacrificed my lungs and my liver. I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore, but Andy Smith smokes these cigarettes. They're called 24/7, and it makes perfect sense because he smokes them literally 24/7.
Damn.
So,
You think
like,
they got something in them?
oh,
Keeps you
dude.
going
Oh,
24/7.
I think they got something in them
Oh.
that keeps you craving them 24/7. Is what I think it is.
Shout out to Andy Smith, Stillhouse Studios down there.
Man, Andy has
Salina.
helped me so much. It's been he give me a place to do something that nobody else in the world would have, and like we talk about the Nashville way of doing records, and there's like an old school way of doing records
Mhm.
where like real people got in and
Yeah.
made these records. But if you're a young writer and you've got songs and a limited ability, then going to Nashville and making a record is probably the best thing for you because you can get in and get out. You don't waste any time,
Yep.
and you get something that's good right from the start.
Yep.
I've been doing this so long, man, before I actually took on the project of making a record that I just felt it was more my responsibility
hmm
to do it myself. But man, getting in there and recording's hard.
Yeah.
Like it's tough. It really put into perspective what kind of lead guitar player I am for sure, because picking around at bars and clubs and stuff is one thing. It can't be rewound. You can't pause it or go
Right.
back. You just play, and you're only getting one layer of guitars anyway,
Right,
man.
right.
Some of the recording, when you watch somebody like Andy work, and he let me fuck around in there for 2 days before he was finally like, you want me to play that? And I'm like, well, I guess, I just kind of thought it was my responsibility. But then you start to realize like it's a whole bigger thing than that. You
Mhm.
can't bite off more than you can chew, which is kind of what I did. But having Andy, he really helped me out a lot
Right.
because he knows. Not only is he like a good guitar player, a great guitar player, but he knows about recording. He knows how to layer things to make them sound big and full
Right.
and stuff. And that's an art that's dying
Yeah. for sure.
because there's so many people have the ability to get into like an entry level recording situation
Right.
that you don't have to. There's a lot of guys around here. They play guitar and they record a little bit, but Andy kind of grew up in a generation to where recording actually meant something because it was that easy to have a recording of your sound at all.
hmm
You might have an old cassette recorder that you could record, some acoustic guitar and a vocal, kind of singer songwriter type stuff. But if you wanted to record electric guitar and make drum loops or, make tracks for rap beats and stuff, man, you had to really have
Yeah.
some significant
Yep.
gear. It
Yep.
wasn't as it was. And that's kind of, for the younger generation, they don't take some of that stuff. And they're listening through music through an iPhone speaker too,
Right.
so it takes a lot out of it. But it's just it opened my mind to the whole thing a lot, and I'll know. I would go back and start the process all over again and re-record all these songs.
hmm
Now that I know how to approach it more than I did, but you can't do that. You get a chance, you
Yeah.
got to go in and knock them out and be
Yeah.
done with it, or else you just hate the songs.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of guys talk about, oh, I wish I could go back and record this and record that, but you just got to do it and move on, man.
It'll still bring a life on its own.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
like you just learn so much across the process. You just like, wow, you have a whole. By the time you're done, you have a whole different perspective on it.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to start another one, man. But now, like, it'll be mixed and mastered. That's starting. He's gonna start tomorrow on mixing and mastering. It'll be done sometime by the end of the week. And then we got to figure out like what to do with it and like how to kind of drum up some interest and stuff. And
I
I've
had
got
some
it.
ideas the other night.
We had some wonderful ideas at the Waffle House. We have
Yeah.
our research and development meetings at Waffle House a lot of times after the shows, and we just kind of try to discuss what our plans are. And
We
the
had,
plans at Waffle House at midnight sound way better than they do the next morning at about 9 when McGregor's asking me, "Do you really want me to?"
make this happen?
You,
Do you want me to make this happen?
you really want to make this happen? And I got to sit back and go, oh God, I don't know about that. Let me think on this some more. But like that's the thing with 50 Media and Steelhouse Studios. Whatever you want to happen, we can make it happen.
You damn right.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, we can make anything happen.
But man, it's been a busy week. It was fun the other day though. Um, we got done recording at Andy's and we just had kind of a little bit of off time and we went and played on the radio station over there that was broadcasting from the old historic courthouse in Salina. And it was fun, man. You eat breakfast, sit over and drink coffee, and then you walk right across the street to the old courthouse and you go on there and broadcast through a somewhat of a primitive broadcasting system. There ain't nowhere to plug your guitar. There ain't no headphones. There's no, the room's just dead. There's no reverb at all. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. You've been breathing it 24/7
Yeah.
for 24/7.
Yeah.
But you just got to get on there like Hank and them did, man, and just play into a mic,
Yeah.
and that was fun. That was kind of I've played on the radio a couple of times with some other artists that I've wrote stuff for, but that was kind of my first time. And me and Andy got on there, and it was in his hometown. And that was cool. And he kind of listened back to it, and his wife and stuff really enjoyed listening to us on there. And it was something he could be proud of, which
Yeah,
was good.
for sure.
Um,
Did he play with you on there?
no, he just kind of talked about Steelhouse
Yeah.
and what he does over
Cool.
there.
I didn't know how that went. I never really asked you about it.
It broadcasted on 101.5 Kicks Country, which I think is out of Tompkinsville, Kentucky. But it kind of hit a 50-mile radius right there around Salina and stuff. And me and Andy was just kind of just thinking about, because see, back in the day when Hank and them was doing it, there would have been those little radio stations everywhere.
Yeah.
And that would have been a lot of your touring, man. You would have
Yeah.
drove around hitting up old radio
That was the only way to get to
stations.
people back then. You didn't have Facebook.
Yes.
Didn't have podcasts to go check people out on.
Or meet other musicians and stuff on. But you would advertise your gig like at the schoolhouse that night, or they'd done a lot of auditoriums and stuff back then. It was just really cool. And that old guy Thomas Watson, he's one of the main guys that got the federal grants to bring cable TV and internet services to those parts of the country. And like I grew up in southeastern Kentucky, which is only maybe 45 minutes or so from Salina, Tennessee, where Andy's at. And it's kind of in the hills, and it's, getting the internet and stuff to all those people took some doing.
Right.
In mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
And Thomas really helped a lot of those people kind of get into the 21st century. He's an old man now in his 80s, but back when he was coming up. And the old Salina courthouse is kind of like a little museum, and they got a lot of old flint marbles in there, which is a big thing up there. I was unaware. This old guy was teaching me all about this. They would find flint in the creeks and stuff, and they would whittle them down and polish them and stuff and make them into like marbles, like you would think would be glass, But then they even polish them so fine that they shine like that, you know. And it's a big thing over there. And Clay County has sent people over to Europe to play in these marble games and stuff. I had no idea about it, but one of the things I like being in music is just getting to experience different stuff like that.
Right.
Getting to go tour the courthouse, and it ain't really all about.
Never know where you're gonna wind up at.
Yeah, D's or shooting rap videos. Like, it don't have to be about me or me. Like, I think even like if you're an artist and you're trying to push your original music, there's a lot of misconception about like self promotion.
Right.
They're like, oh, this guy thinks this or this guy thinks that, but. Like even me making this record, it's not so much that I'm, I want it to be me. Like for one, I wanted some of my guys to have a place where they're playing to live. Like John, my drummer I used, I don't think he's ever been on too many recordings. So, stuff like that. I wanted Andy's guitar playing to have someone, the
Yeah,
songs to
yeah.
have somewhere to live. It ain't all just about look at me, or
Right,
that,
right.
which can get some misconceptions sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's all about just the experiences. And the music will take you places.
Hmm.
And being around the music and stuff, like we always talk about with the FIFO media, if we could just get on that one big tour.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
For
Like that's
sure.
kind of like you sit around dreaming about hitting the lottery.
Well, it
But
might be on tour with Lil Wayne soon.
hey, Wiz Khalifa.
West Khalifa. I mean, be on some big stuff.
Um, I think the kind of only current event things we got right now is Elpo's on February 11th. We're picking up there. That's coming up.
Be
Um,
performing.
the Grammys are going on right now, but honestly, that don't really mean a ton to
They
me.
asked us to come, but I mean, we got something going on that night.
Yeah, we were just gonna shoot the podcast
Yeah,
instead. They were
yeah, we
like,
can't
well,
make the Grammys this year. I
if you want to
mean,
come to
sorry.
LA, we're like, that's something that's not really all those award shows and stuff nowadays. It's not really that big a thing.
No.
I mean, if you're a producer or a songwriter and you have that where you can say, I want a Grammy for this or that, that's going to help you in a lot of ways.
Good for the resume.
Even just solidifying to your family
Yep.
this crazy dream you've had all along. That's kind of something the older generation can put a face value to. But people in the younger generations, they don't care nothing about it.
Nah.
They see some of the biggest stars that they love the most doing the most numbers that don't get recognized at those things.
Yep.
A
lot of those.
Yeah, man. And if you got a Grammy, you can help your cause, whatever it be, if you're a songwriter or whatever. But even like the ACMs and the CMAs and stuff, I remember when we were younger,
that was a big
that
thing.
was a huge thing,
Yeah,
man. It was almost like the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It'd come
for
on
sure.
Sundays, and your mom made food or whatever, and everybody watched. But over the past 10 years, like nobody even watches those things.
Yeah.
Probably the last big thing that really generated anything off of something that was maybe some of that Chris Stapleton, Justin Timberlake stuff.
Yeah.
That's something that I equate to like a moment in music history that we got to see live.
Right.
Like you go back and you think about some of the older moments that are like the Beatles on Ed Sullivan or whatever that triggered all this stuff. That's one of them.
Yeah.
And that's something that me personally, I seen live. And Chris Stapleton's album, I had been a fan of him before that, but his album was in the 99-cent bin on iTunes.
Hell yeah.
At 7 o'clock. By 7:07, when he come off stage, it was the #1 album in the country.
Wow.
And then just this whole ripple of outlaw country, independent country, all that stuff
came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Yep.
But even before Chris Stapleton, there was Jamie Johnson. Jamie Johnson never got that huge explosion.
No.
He had a rise and was on CMT and stuff and had a good solid career. But that Chris Stapleton thing just blew all out of the water. But Jamie kicked a lot of doors down for all those guys.
Yeah, he paved the way for them. Yeah. He paved the way for guys like Chris Stapleton.
Yep, yep.
To come in and be able to do the style that Chris Stapleton was doing at that time. He's, a little different now than he was when he come out.
Yeah, because back then, the internet wasn't big.
Right.
You had to rely on CMT. Yep. The only thing Jamie Johnson had was In Color, but that one thing allowed him to create this other stuff,
But he writes so much in the background. Like there's thousands of songs you hear on the radio every day and you don't even know it, but you're like, Jamie Johnson wrote that song.
Yeah, and Chris Stapleton too.
Yeah, him too, yeah.
It just
he wrote that big song for Josh Turner.
That's the thing about having a Grammy. Like, if you're just a songwriter, you need something like that to hang your coat on.
Yep.
Because you're never going to get the credit unless you're really far down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
These guys like Dean Dillon or whatever,
It's kind of always sit here with the camera at this angle because I can sit here and from here I can see all of my Grammys over here on the wall.
Yeah, just to keep
stuff on both sides. It's like, yeah, that's accomplishments. Yeah, it's good stuff.
You got anything else you want to touch on, man?
I think that's about it, man. We can't spill all the beans right now.
All right, we're just getting on here, trying to stay consistent, guys.
Yep. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and Let us know if there's something y'all want to hear about Nashville or something like that. Leave it in the comments.
We're getting some more guests lined up.
Yes, we got some cool people coming up soon. Can't really talk about none of them right now, but we got some cool stuff coming down the line for sure. So you're definitely gonna want to stay tuned and watch this evolve and grow.
Hell yeah, man. Well, till next week. Y'all take it easy. Peace.